Hey guys, last week we talked about compound assignment with augmented multiplication and compound assignment with augmented division. Today we're going to be talking about escaping literal quotes in strings as well as quoting strings with single quotes. Let's begin. When you are defining a string, you must start and end with a single or double quote. What happens when you need a literal quote, double quotation or single quotation inside of your string? In JavaScript, you can escape a quote from considering it as an end of string quote by placing a backslash in front of the quote. Considering our variable const sample string, which equals Alan said Peter is learning JavaScript. This signals to JavaScript that the following quote is not the end of the string, but rather this signals to JavaScript that the following quote is not the end of the string, but should instead appear inside the string. So, if you were to print this to the console, you would get Alan said, with double quotations opening and closing, Peter is learning JavaScript. Use backslashes to assign a string to the myString variable so that if you were to print it to the console, you would see I am a double quoted string inside double quotes. Test cases, you should use 2 double quotes and 4 escaped double quotes. Also, variable myString should contain the string I am a double quoted string inside double quotes. Let's take a look at the code. Okay, so we need to go ahead and grab that string. So let's do that. Take a moment to the code. And let's paste. Okay, so we can escape double quotations by using a backslash. So let's go ahead and add a backslash at the front of our double quotation marks. 2 more. And that should do it. Okay, now we can clearly see a beginning and an ending double quotation mark, but the inner double quotation marks of this string will be escaped so as not to interfere with rendering this quote in our console. Let's look at the test. Well, there it is. My string equals I am a double quoted string inside double quotes. Let's run. I gotta have more cowbell. Nice. Okay, next, quoting strings with single quotes. String values in JavaScript may be written with single or double quotes as long as you start and end with the same type of quote. Unlike other programming languages, single and double quotes work the same in JavaScript. We have 2 variables, const double quote string, which has the string, this is a string, as well as const single quote string, which has this is also a string, but in single quotations. The reason why you might want to use one type of quote over the other is if you want to use both in a string. This might happen if you want to save a conversation in a string and have the conversation in quotes. Another use for it would be saving an a tag or an anchor tag with various attributes in quotes, all within a string. In our example, we have const conversation is our variable name, and assigned to it is a string which has first single quotation marks opening and closing, Finn exclaims to Jake, and then the quote is algebraic. All right, and that's going to be in double quotation marks. So, however, this becomes a problem if you need to use the outermost quotes within it. Remember, a string has the same kind of quote at the beginning and end. But if you have that same quote somewhere in the middle, the string will stop early and throw an error. So, this is an example of a good string. Jake asks Finn, hey, let's go on an adventure. All right, and this string starts with a single quotation, ends with a single quotation, All right, and what is Jake asking Finn? In double quotation marks, we have, hey, let's go on an adventure. But hey, we also have an apostrophe S on let's. So we have to use an escape character there, seeing as how our sentence starts with a single quotation as well. Bad string. Opening and a closing single quote. Finn responds, let's go. So we're kind of like mixing and matching double quotes and single quotes, but in this case, not a good example. That apostrophe S on let's go, it doesn't have an escape character. There's no backslash. So it won't get escaped, and we have a bad string. So here is a bad string, and this will throw in an error. This will throw an error. In the good string above, you can use both quotes safely by using the backslash as an escape character. Note, the backslash should not be confused with the forward slash. They do not do the same thing. Now, instructions. Change the provided string to a string with single quotes at the beginning and end and no escape characters. Right now, the anchor tag in the string uses double quotes everywhere. You will need to change the outer quotes to single quotes so you can remove the escape characters. Test cases, you should remove all the backslashes, and you should have 2 single quotes and 4 double quotes. Let's look at the code, get started. Okay, all right, so we have an anchor tag here with an address and a lot of double quotation marks and escape characters. Well, the instruction said to remove all of the escape characters, so let's go ahead and do that. Do that first. So remember, the escape characters are the backslashes, which are not the same and do not do the same thing as the forward slash. Okay, so that's all of our backslashes. Next, we need to start our string with a single quotation instead of double quotation and end with the same single quotation mark. Okay, and now we have our anchor tags enclosed within single quotation marks. Our web address has double quotation marks, that's fine. And the target also has double quotation marks. We expect that this should work just fine. Let's check out the test and run. Yippee! Yeah, it worked. Alright, hope you've enjoyed this one. I will see you diligently on the next one.